Are we live? Okay, cool. Hi, if you're there and watching. And it's good, and our quality is good. Excellent. Okay, so hello, everybody. If anybody's there, give us just a moment here to finish getting ready. Well, it's already a late start by plan, sort of. I will tell you the whole story once I figure out which is my left ear and which is my right. It's always the mystery of the day. Ha! Got it. Alrighty, let's get this in place. Get that actually properly in place. And, oh, where's my, there we go. Wake up that, and, oh, this isn't running. How odd. All right, let's get this going too. Oh, look, it says live here. Let's get to that control room. Hi, everybody. I will start recording at some point in the near future. Actually, I want to start doing that now, because if I don't start recording now, I will forget. Okay, there's that. That's in place. I'm going to need to unplug to go get all that crap. Come on, YouTube, don't do that to me. Give me my show, my video, my live, my... I know some of you are there. I can't see any... Oh, hi, look, there's a lot of people there. Excellent. I'll be there eventually. We're getting there. We're getting things set up. I am much later than I intended to be in here this morning, and I'll tell you all why as soon as this is all up and running and hunky-dory and all those things. Let's see, let's get that set up and that set up. Excellent, okay. The show is running. Let's get my chat. Ooh, look at this full chat room. Let's pop this guy up. Nope, wrong button. There's the right button. See, like you don't do this for a couple weeks, you forget how everything works. Ooh, look at that, big full chat room. Okay, that's set. Let me get rid of this stuff that I don't need, and then I will get the show started. Let's see, if we don't need that. I do want this. Part of what we'll do is I'll talk about the trip. I'll talk about some of the gear that I used and what I didn't use, which is always, I think, interesting to hear, at least in my silly opinion. And I don't even know what this is. We might do an unboxing. I'm going to open it and see what's inside the box, and we'll see if I want to open it the rest of the way. And then there's this box, which I need. Don't need this. Hey, Ryan, I can't hear you right now. Did the Cozy Speed bag go out? Okay, excellent. So to our friend who won the Cozy Speed bag, hopefully they have it in their hot little hands by now. Oh, look, my ATEM just decided to go offline. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. The XR is not syncing up? What does that mean? You can't connect in there. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to go fix Ryan's view of the audio mixer. Because I can't record. Oh, well, there's nothing in there to record. There's no drive in there. But why? Setup. Remember, you go to setup and connect. If it's not doing that, there you go. Yep. All right. Ryan is connected. I am back on ears. Excellent. Now I can hear. We're recording. That can be quiet. Let's get that out of the way. 36 people here watching. You guys must have missed me or something. That's ridiculous. All right. I actually made a graphic even. Let me get the graphic up, and then we're going to do a proper show. I don't know if the audio is going to play. Give me a second. Let's just do a quick test here. Yep. You heard the audio? You heard the audio? Oh, it doesn't matter. I can add it in later anyway, but how very odd. Okay. What's this thing called? This is the Photo Moment Show. Let's find that. Let's get the graphics. Let's get today's graphic into place. And we will be ready to go. That's loaded, and that's in place. All right. Okay, I think this might actually work. Let's have a show, shall we? Apparently it's not going to actually... The whole ATEM thing restarted while I was gone. I still don't have UPS on there, so I had to reload everything, and apparently it's decided to not finish doing that yet. So forget it. I'll add that part in later. Good morning and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live thrice-weekly show here on YouTube at youtube.com/PhotoJoseph every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific, unless it's today, which is a Wednesday at 10:30-ish a.m. Pacific, because I have been out of town, and I just got back. So for those of you who missed the show, thank you for tuning in this morning. It's lovely to see you. I know I got a lot of tweets and Facebook posts and all those good things saying, when are you back and all that, and that was most awesome. So let's just see who's here this morning to start. Let us bring up the comments. Let's hope this all works. It does. And let's see what we got. Carlos Men, greetings. Hello from Panama. Did the GH5 course ever get updated for version 2X of the firmware? No, not yet. It is still on the list, but no, it will happen. It's just there's a lot. The list is big. SkateTube, hello, good morning. SR Digital, welcome back. Well, thank you very much. Sean Bagshaw, greetings, my friend. Jet lag, just a little bit. I'll tell you about the trip here in just a moment. Marbuana, hello from Bandung, Indonesia. Right on. Jake Guptill, good morning to you. Martin, sorry to read that BA were as rubbish as they have become of late. You know, the BA flight over the water was great. The BA flight from Italy to London to Heathrow, it wasn't that it was bad. It was, my house is falling down. It was just that okay, I fly a lot, right? I mean, okay, I used to fly really a lot. Now I fly like kind of a lot, but I fly enough. When you can't get free coffee on a flight, it's like, really? It's a 2.5-hour flight and you want to sell me a cup of coffee? Fine, just give me some water. Oh, I'm sorry. The only water available is out of the tap, the crappy, tastes like metal airplane tap water that you serve that every travel guide in the world tells you not to drink. If I want real water, you're going to sell me that too. I can't get water or coffee included in my plane ticket anymore. That's a bit rubbish. I think that's a bit silly. That was Aer Lingus on the way in and BA on the way back. Same thing for the short leg. I mean, just, that's lame. Even Aer Lingus, not to like really, but really, Aer Lingus, no alcohol. I mean, come on, I'm traveling with a 3-year-old for Christ's sake. Give me a drink. No alcohol, no free alcohol, complimentary alcohol on the way there. On the way back, though, I was on BA. There we did have complimentary wine, and that was very nice. And the purser was very kind. He's like, oh, you have a 3-year-old. Here, have some wine. That was really nice. But actually, the kid did really, really good on the trip. Yeah, BA, that was a little, come on. How about some free water at least? Jeez. Tellman, good morning from sunny Riverside, Alabama. Excellent. Lucid Productions, checking in from Davis. Love it. SRO Digital, you've been missed by the looks of the viewing figure. Yeah, I know. It's good, man. Look at all these people tuning in today. This is fantastic. How was my trip to Slovenia, Clement? It was awesome. I'm going to tell you guys all about it in a minute here. Hello there, Clem Pro. And Talman Murphy says, I'm back too. Had a quick trip to Tallahassee for, oops, that scrolled all the way, for work. Not as exciting a year trip. Hey, Tallahassee's cool. Assured Creative Media, did you manage to get the slider one updated? No, and I will talk about that. Everybody's in loud and clear. I'm back. Whiskey Throttle says back from Slovenia. I was there on vacation, did a little work while I was there as well. Whiskey Throttle, I like the name Whiskey Throttle. This is good. We may have to talk. Ricardo, hello. Created by Beatrix. Hello from Seattle. Met me at the Lubitsch offices. Oh, excellent. Okay, so here's a cool story. So you know this trip, I'm doing this thing for LumaFusion and Narbox. And that was part, I mean, my trip was a vacation, but I'm doing a thing for them, and I shot something for them on the trip, told you all about it, tweeted about it, blah, blah, blah. I was up at the LumaTouch offices in Seattle, 3 or 4 weeks ago or so, and there was a chap there who was just starting off as a beta tester, I think. Is that right, created by Trix? And he goes, I think I know you. You're PhotoJoseph. I was like, well, that is so cool. And I said, well, hey, next time you're on the show, say hi. And there he is, created by Trix, is saying hello. So that is fantastic. Thanks for tuning in today. Haji Astuna Liviu, I totally messed up that name, I'm sure. Good evening from Romania. Matt Diver, you did miss me? Well, thank you. Give the 3-year-old a whiskey. Whiskey Throttle says, see, now we're thinking. All right, lots of comments, we're just going to move on here. This is, wow, overwhelming. You guys are awesome. Would love to talk over whiskey. Now you've got my attention for sure. Okay, so first of all, I'm back. Was on a 2-week. It was a 2-week holiday. It was kind of pre-day. We had a little bit of a mini kind of a holiday before the holiday, visiting friends in the Bay Area. Drove down to San Francisco, which is like a 6-hour drive to where our friends are. Flew out of SFO Tuesday, 2 weeks ago. What's today? Wednesday? So 2 weeks ago yesterday. Flew into Venice. We got ridiculously cheap airfare from SFO to Venice. It was like $425 or something each. So crazy cheap airfare. Awesome. Flew into Venice, rented a car there, which is a whole other experience. I will talk about that in another show, but the whole car renting thing is interesting. But it was fun to have a car. Drove from Venice to Piran, which is a Slovenian city on the coast. Their only coast, if you look at a map, Slovenia has like this much coastline, and that city is Piran. I'd never been there before. Absolutely beautiful. Unbelievable drone footage that I got from there. Can't wait to show you guys that. And then the next day, drove the rest of the way to my wife's family, which is up near the Austrian border, and that is where we hung out for the next couple of weeks. While I was there, I did took a day off to go shoot in Socha Valley and the Alps with Luca, who is a photography tour guide, photo guide. He does workshops. He works for other companies doing workshops to help guide through the region, focuses on that area. I'll try to remember to put a link into his show below, but I'll be talking about him, or to his website below here. Ryan, don't forget to do that. And I will talk about him more later. He's awesome. If you're ever out in the region, you definitely want to do that. John Doe, $1.99, thank you very much. I appreciate that. He's got a question. I'll come to that in just a second. So we did that for a day. And then just the rest of the time was really just with family, just hanging with family, enjoying life. The journey back was long. So we had to drive back to Venice, but we drove back. Let's see, we left my wife's family's home Monday after lunch, drove to Venice, got to Venice that evening, dropped off the rental car, went to a hotel, had dinner, an embarrassing dinner. We'll talk about that another time as well, or not, because it's kind of really embarrassing. And all right, long story short, there was a nice restaurant we were going to go to, but then thought, ooh, it's too nice. The 3-year-old, he's a bit like, he's been in a car all day. He's a bit, so let's not. We found another little place, kind of a corner bar. They serve pizza, great. It's Italy. It's got to be great pizza. Go in. I swear to God, it was microwave pizza. So upset. My only meal in Italy, and it was a like DiGiorno microwave pizza. Nasty. Anyway, so 7:30 a.m. flight on Tuesday, home, landing in SFO yesterday, Tuesday, I guess it would be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Had planned on just driving straight home, but it took 3 hours to get out of the airport because customs sucks, takes forever. And by the time we got our luggage and then got the car, we were in rush hour traffic. We got as far as Vacaville, which is kind of north of it's just outside of the Bay Area, and went, forget about it. Checked into a hotel, woke up at 2 o'clock this morning, everybody was wide awake, so we got in the car and drove the rest of the way and said, I'm gonna do a show, it's just gonna be an hour later than normal. So that brings us to here. That is the way. All right, John Doe had a question. Avia.io 4K, buy for streaming with GH5 or another recorder. Okay, so he's asking the Avia.io is a, well, that's the product. Is that the company? Is that the product? That's the product. It is a converter HDMI to SDI or HDMI. No, that wouldn't make sense. SDI or HDMI to USB. I think that's it. Very good device, very solid hardware. One of the few that will work with just about anything you give it. If I remember right, it's one of the few that your computer will see as a webcam. So if you wanted to take your GH5 and hook it up to your computer as a webcam to use on Skype, stuff like that, then that is definitely a good device to use. A little on the pricier side of converters, but it works. A lot of the cheaper converters, like the ones from Blackmagic, which are really, really good and rock solid, the way that they're set up, it's a Thunderbolt device, and your Skype or Google Hangouts or Zoom.us or whatever you're using will not see that as a camera. Those services are designed only to work with webcams. If you try to give it a professional camera feed like you get from a Blackmagic box, which goes in by a Thunderbolt, it won't work. So if you want to use it as a webcam, you got to go with something like the AVIO. And they have a 4K and a 2K version, so if you don't need the 4K, you can save a little bit of money. Hope that was helpful. Okay, so that was kind of what we did. So I will be talking about this a lot more, of course, because this is kind of what the work part of the trip was. But just to refresh you, part of what I did, I have 2 new clients. It's Narbox, who make this little thing. We've talked about this a bit before. And LumaFusion, or LumaTouch is the company who make LumaFusion, which is a very robust video editor on the iPad. What I was making a video on, and it's not done yet, but what I was working on, what I was shooting for, and what I will be talking about at NAB, actually, if you're going to NAB, you'll want to come to the Narbox booth, because there I will be talking about the integration between Narbox and LumaTouch. What you can do now is connect your iPad to your Narbox wirelessly. That's what you've always been able to do. And then within LumaTouch, this really awesome editor, it's kind of like Final Cut or Premiere, but on an iPad. It's pretty remarkable. You can access your footage from here wirelessly, scrub through the footage. You don't have to copy everything over. When you mark an in and out on a clip and add that to the timeline, then the software copies just that piece of the clip over to your iPad. So instead of having to have 200 gigs of content on your iPad, you can have just the pieces that you actually need as you edit. It's a really, really cool workflow. It's still in development. I'm working with early software, but that's what it's all about. So that's what that whole thing was. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be very excited to show you that once it's a little bit farther along. We already talked about gear before I left. I kind of went through the packing thing, but what I wanted to talk about here a little bit was what I actually used and what I didn't use. And incidentally, I have like 12 minutes to do everything because I've got a meeting at 11. So plug your ears real quick. Velcro's always loud. Headphones, always use those. Battery pack, this is the Goal Zero 17,000 milliamp. I used this all the time. This is awesome, really robust. I used the the DJI Mavic Air a ton. Flew this a bunch. Unfortunately, when I got into the Alps, it was too windy. I couldn't fly it up there, but I used this thing all over the place. Otherwise, got some beautiful footage. I am in love with this new little drone. That is fantastic. Shot, of course, on the GH5 a whole ton. Oh, look at that. Knocked off my, I'll fix that later. And with the microphone, the same mic I've always used. One of the new things that I did was I brought along this little Tascam recorder. This is the LR10, is that right? I want to say, is that right? No, DR10L, sorry. DR10L, little recorder. This is, instead of a wireless transmitter pack, this is a lav recorder. So you have this tiny little box, lav mic. I actually kind of threaded it into my jacket semi-permanently. And whenever I was doing dialogue somewhere like on a plane, because I recorded a lot of stuff on a plane, I would record with this, but also with this, or I recorded one shot where I was far away, way too far away for this, and kind of walking towards the camera, and I was able to then record simultaneous audio on this, so I'll be able to easily sync those up in post. It just allowed me another level of flexibility for the audio, for the dialogue that I was recording, which I thought was kind of cool. I even did things like record ambient sound, like I hooked it on the back of the seat on one of the flights. As we're getting ready to take off, they're doing all the announcements just to get a lot of ambient sounds of the overhead announcement, the captain talking, yada, yada, just because I thought, I might need that somewhere. It's kind of cool. So instead of having to roll video to capture the audio, I was able to just capture it through this. So that was kind of fun. So that stuff I used all the time. The iPad, obviously, I used. The Narbox, of course, that was the whole point. And variable ND filter, obviously super critical. Use that all the time. Lenses, I brought a lot of lenses. I probably only used half of the ones that I brought. The 15mm 1.7, I guess I used that a little bit. The 25.95, I used that quite a bit. And that was the this is the lightweight shooting rig. But then I brought the big case with a bunch of other stuff as well. And that was more for because remember, the whole project was basically shooting a video within a video. So there's two videos that'll get produced out of this. There's the vlog entry, which is the bigger video. And then part of that vlog is about the production of the video that it was edited or will be edited on this. It's not done yet, but it's being edited on here. And that is kind of the video within the video. So when I was shooting this stuff, I was mainly just shooting with this little bit of gear, including the drone, and then shooting the other video, got into some of the bigger stuff. So I don't know how much of this I really want to unpack right now, but this is that Think Tank Airporter. What is this thing called again? Airporter? Airport Advantage Plus. Bitchin' bag, I gotta tell you, this thing is awesome. It is rated for carry-on. Technically, it's too big for carry-on when the laptop is in here. It doesn't come with a laptop bag, actually. This is an older bag that I already had, but that fits in there fine. Technically, too big with this in there for carry-on, but you can take that out, and that can be your personal item, if you will, or since there were 3 of us traveling, if I needed to, I could have easily handed it to like my 3-year-old and gone, look, it's his personal item. But I didn't have to, fortunately. But without this in there, this is full-on legitimate carry-on size. The one thing in here that I do want to mention, let's see, I didn't use my time-lapse camera, so I almost always bring now a LX10. This is a little LX10. I've even got a power supply for it. If I'm going to do time-lapse, I use this thing because it's a camera that I can leave in the hotel all day long. I never did use it. Didn't shoot any time-lapse, so oh well. I brought a couple of my funky lenses, and ended up not using any of those. And some backup gear in here. Oh, I did bring the GX85 as well, so I had just for family stuff, personal stuff, if I wanted to have a better camera than my iPhone but didn't want to carry the GH5. There was a day of wine, it was a wine tour, what do they call it? Open cellar day. This is so cool. So you pay 20 euro. Yeah, 20 euro, you get a wine glass. And it comes in like a little thing you wear around your neck so you can't drop it. And you go from cellar to cellar for tastings. And it's there's like tons of people that go around from cellar to cellar. The weather was absolutely rubbish, so it wasn't as big as it usually is, but it was still a lot of fun. And I brought this camera along to shoot some of that. So you'll see some of that show up in the vlog video as well. Real quick on here, Trevor's saying, have you seen the new iPad? Should be perfect for that Narbox. Did they announce the new iPad? See, I try not to follow these things anymore. That's not true. I was on vacation trying not to pay attention to these things. No, I haven't seen the new iPad. The 10-inch Pro is what this is perfect for this combination. The new one, I think, if you're talking about, I heard there's some rumors about an education one, a lower cost one. If it's not a Pro, it may not be able to handle the 4K 60 footage, which is what I'm shooting and able to edit on the LumaFusion with the Narbox 4K 60. I don't know if the new iPad would do that, but I don't know anything about it yet, so that's just a big assumption. Okay, so that was that. And then lenses, blah, 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 nothing too exciting there. Oh, the car mount. So I used this a lot. Suction mount, ball mount. I got some really cool shots mounted on the hood of a car, driving around in the Alps. That was kind of awesome, so can't wait to show that footage off. And Then there's the only significant piece of gear that I couldn't use, and someone already asked the question about this because they saw my tweet, because I was not happy about it. And that was this, my slider. I know that's really loud, sorry. Gotta make sure that's zipped up before I take it off of here. So this is the Edelclone Slider 1. I absolutely love this thing. I've talked about it a bunch. I haven't used it much lately. It's one of those things you go, God, I gotta use my slider more. It's a tiny little, it's quite heavy. It's very well made. It's a tiny little motorized slider. This is actually an add-on to it so that you can get different angles on here. I don't know if any of my close-up cameras are hooked up here. Let me see if I can get that in. Yeah, that is hooked up. Let's get that into place. I can show you what that looks like. I don't know if that shot's going to work or not. Let's try. Close-up. There we go. So it's kind of a bad shot. But anyway, so this thing, you can see it kind of tilts up and down. This is an add-on head. I forget what this thing is called. That's another little piece for it. Anyway, it's a motorized slider. It connects to an app on your iPhone. Works great. The problem that I had was I launched the app and it said a firmware update is required for your Slider 1 before you can use it. For the most part, I was in places where my internet connection was limited to like GPRS, the absolute slowest speed, or 1 megabit Wi-Fi if I was lucky. I had crap internet. So I could not update it. Let it sit for 15 minutes, the progress bar didn't budge. So I'm assuming it is downloading the update. That pissed me off. So I tweeted to Narbox and they responded and said, open a support ticket and we'll talk about it. But here's the way I see it. Your iPhone or your smartphone updates the software all the time automatically. Fine. So it updated the software for the Slider 1. It updated the software with a required firmware update for the two to be compatible. So now I've got firmware in here that's no longer compatible with the software on my phone. Why not download the firmware? When the software updates on the phone, why doesn't it download the firmware pack at the same time so that when you do finally connect to it, it might be a day, a week, a month later, when you finally connect to it, it already has that software there ready to load. That was the situation as far as I understand it. I did not have the software there, so I couldn't load it. I didn't have the connection to download it, so I couldn't use my slider. So that really pissed me off. So I'm majorly bummed with that. I will update you after I talk to them and get that resolved, figure out what the real situation was. And the last thing was a new gadget that I haven't shown you yet because when it showed up, I didn't have time to do an unboxing as a live show. I did record some unboxings, but then the battery didn't work. This is the iCan B holder. What the heck number is this thing? DS2A, the angled one. I think I talked about it very, very briefly. But this is the angled gimbal. So again, when I first got it, it didn't work because there's something wrong with the battery. Props to iCan. They FedExed a replacement battery pack, so that's this guy here. They FedExed one to my friend's house where I was staying in San Francisco in the Bay Area so that I had this for the trip. But it meant that I had very little practice time before we actually hit the road. I used it a bunch. I definitely learned a lot while using it. My earlier shots are definitely not as good as the later shots. And I think it's a very cool device. I still definitely need more practice time with it, but hopefully I got enough shots to make it have been worthwhile to carry. But this is a really slick little setup. So I love that. That was fun. I'm looking forward to playing with that more. I'll talk about it more as well. And that is everything there. How are we on time? I got 3 minutes till I have a call. Let's very quickly see what's in this box, and then I'm going to hang this thing up. Let's see what's this here. I know what's in here. I can't get through the tape. I have no keys on me. Ryan, can you bring me a knife? Maybe. Usually there's a knife here. Aha, never mind, I got it. What is this? Oh, okay, that's nothing exciting. It's a battery grip for the G9, so awesome. Thanks, Tom, for sending that out. That's the battery grip for the G9, so we will talk about that at some point as well. Okay, that's it. I've got a call in like 2 minutes, so I've got to go. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Let me see real quick, anything else on here in the comments that I missed? Can you put the link of the car sucker up? SkateTube says, yes, so we will do that. We'll put a link to that down below. I don't remember the model. We'll look it up. Ryan will put that down below. It's from Manfrotto. It's awesome. I use this thing all the time. I've had it for years. I absolutely love it. And I've mounted some expensive cameras to some very expensive cars, and it's never fallen off. So I'm happy with it. The really good ones, you want to have the 3 sucker ones. It's much more security, but this worked fine for me. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate tuning in today. It was fun for a live show. I'm not going to do on Friday. The rest of the week, I am still taking off because it's spring break. I got my kids. We're going to go out and have some fun. But Monday, back onto a normal schedule. only for a week because then it's NAB, and then I'll be gone for most of that week for NAB, but I will definitely do shows from NAB. If you're going to be at NAB, let me know. Say something in the comments. I will set up another meetup like I did last year. That was a lot of fun, so I will figure that out. But let me know in the comments if you're going to NAB, and we'll set up there. All right, guys. See you later. Take care. Bye-bye.